Hello everyone, my name is Marshall.
And I'm Sangeetha, and as you know, we are Noah Films.
And today we're here to give you some audition tips.
So we really wanted to give some tips to actors. As actors ourselves, we've been there having to send in audition tapes to casting directors. But we also have experience behind the scenes as a casting director.
We've been casting for 5 or so years and we have a pretty good idea.
We've certainly received a lot of different auditions over the years. Some have been great, some have been interesting.
And we just want to, give some advice. I think we should start with the headshot, because that's the first thing that people see. And the biggest point for the headshot is definitely have a clear headshot. You have to be the main focus, not the background, not something else in the headshot. It has to be you.
Don't do anything like this. If you can, hire a professional photographer or a headshot photographer to take your photo, that's great. But honestly, if you don't have the resources, if you just have a camera lying around, or even, iPhones these days, the cameras are pretty great. So just find a nice backdrop, or a simple backdrop that's going to make you stand out. Get some good lighting and then take the shot.
By the door frame works great. You got that natural light coming through and the background's dark, so anything like that works.
And in terms of what you wear for your headshot, something simple is great. Not super patterned because that can be quite distracting, but a nice block color is always good, and something that's going to show what kind of physique you have and show off your personality a little bit too.
And if you're taking multiple ones, actually have a few different outfit changes just to see, a different sides of you just through clothing and styling.
To have some variety, and that can just be different emotions that you're showing, or it could even be different character types that you're showing too. So the next major point to make sure you have when submitting an audition is a showreel.
I feel like a lot of people don't have showreels whenever they submit their auditions.
So that can be quite surprising on the casting end, because when people submit an audition and there's no showreel, it's a bit confusing because you're trying to see them as an actor. What kind of acting can they do? We want to know what you sound like, what you act like, where you could fit in terms of what role you're going for.
Also have a variety in your showreel, so don't just have drama or just comedy. So it's good to mix it up so they can see your potential if you're being cast in different type of character roles.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to have a professional showreel. There are plenty of ways to get footage. You can go do some short films or find some friends and get a few crew people together and film a scene. But otherwise, at the very least, you can have a self-tape up there. So choose a scene that's going to give you some highs and lows and some range, one scene, and film it against a blank wall and then have someone read for you. Even that is better than having nothing at all. And I always feel like when I see actors, they don't have the fancy equipment, but they've got self-tapes up there at least. Yeah. That makes me think, okay, this person's serious. They might not have all the resources, but they're trying and they've put something together.
And one last tip is make sure that your showreels are acting related. I think it's fine to have videos of you singing or dancing or showing other skills, but if that's all that it is and it's none that's acting, then it's really difficult for casting directors to kind of see where they can put you in a certain role.
The third important point is having a CV or having your profile up to date. We've had some people submit auditions through a platform like Star now. And then when we click onto their profile, there's nothing there. So there's no bio, there's no mission statement, there's no dot points for what they've done. And, even if you haven't done much, if you've at least got something up there talking about why you want to do this or what you're interested in, even that's better than nothing.
When you do submit, have at least a cover letter saying why you want to be part of this project and why you want to work with the company or the individual that wants to cast you. I can't think of the amount of times that people have just sent a copy and paste cover letter and you can really tell because it doesn't address the company or the person, and it doesn't specifically say why they want this role. And I think that kind of really throws off the casting directors into really wanting to get or cast this person.
And of course, every film company that's casting something, they have a specific genre or a specific way of doing things, and it really means more when we know that you've actually looked at our work and you actually want to work with us for a specific reason. It's not just for no reason at all. Another important thing is to make sure you really read the audition notice and look at all of the little dot points that are on there, because again, we've had a lot of people who have applied that aren't even the specific thing that we were asking for when it came to the role. Or even I've sent out information or an audition back to somebody and they've been like, oh, I didn't know it was like that. And it's like, well, it was there, you know, so it just seems more reliable, more professional if you make sure you read the details.
That also goes on to just don't blindly apply for every single thing that you can. Good of an actor as you are, you're not going to fit every single role.
Yeah, it's definitely good to take a leap of faith and put yourself out there. But again, it can come off a little bit like unprofessional if you just keep applying for absolutely everything in sight. And also then, if you do that, then you could be getting a lot of audition requests for things that you don't really want.
Yeah.
And that just goes into wasting the casting director's time.
If the casting director has this very specific question for the actor, for example, what drew you to this project, or how do you feel about comedic films? Again, don't just give like a generic answer. If you really want to be part of the project and you really believe in it, which you should if you're applying for one in the first place, then actually have a genuine response to, you know, why you want to be part of it or whatever the question is.
So on that, another tip that I have is in regards to professionalism. So, you know, also not just applying to absolutely everything unless you really want to do it, but also being very timely in the way you respond to casting directors or emails. So if you apply to something and they want you to audition and they send you a script, make sure you just confirm and say, thank you, I have received it, I'll have the tape to you by the due date. So just respond so they know that you've got it and also that you're reliable as well.
Okay, so nowadays with social media, there are a lot of different platforms for an actor to find auditions and castings.
Yeah, so there's so many things. You don't have to have an agent to find auditions these days, which is great if you don't have one. You've got platforms like Backstage and Star Now. It's just Star Now here in Australia now. And you can create a profile and then have a list of auditions and you can go through and find ones and apply.
And you know, if you have the opportunity, like we encourage everyone just to keep creating your own tapes and keep doing self-tapes as well. In that way, you get more opportunities and people can see more of your work.
You've also got groups on Facebook that are specific for acting and filmmakers that you can join, and they're often posting listings on there as well.
Yeah, or networking events.
Yeah, networking's a great one. You know, go to these little indie premieres and other things that are happening in the community and just go meet some people who are making stuff. Thank you for watching these audition tips. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and comment if you want to see more.
Yeah, and you know, if you guys like this video, then let us know, because, you know, like we said, we have a lot of years of knowledge on this on both ends. And if you want a more specific video on self-tapes, you know, we'd be happy to do that as well. Thank you for watching this video, and
We'll be back.
we'll be back.